I haven't been evaluating or reevaluating. I'm doing my job. It's kind of interesting that about 30 minutes after I put out a release saying that I intend to run, that she put out one saying that she was running.
Well, the unexpected announcement from Liz Cheney that she plans to run for the Senate may put some Republicans in an awkward position, perhaps, but not the junior senator from Wyoming, who says he's standing by Mike Enzi. Joining me now is the junior senator from Wyoming, John Barrasso. Senator Barrasso, good morning. And we booked you before this news happened.
Yes.
A little bit coincidental, but I got to ask you right off the top, what's going on in your home state? And why do you think Mike Enzi should be reelected and renominated over Liz Cheney?
You know, Mike has a very strong, solid, conservative record of getting things done for the people of Wyoming. He is my friend. He is my mentor. I think he does a great job representing Wyoming in the United States Senate, and I'm going to support him for re-election.
Did Liz Cheney reach out to you and ask you your advice about whether she should run?
Well, I've talked to her a couple of months ago, but I haven't talked to her recently.
And do you think that there is a place in Wyoming politics for Liz Cheney?
You know, I have a great respect for the Cheney family, for the vice president, for Lynn, and for Liz. I think that Liz has she's terrific, and I think she has a future that is very, very bright. I just think this is the wrong race at the wrong time.
And her chief contention against Senator Enzi appears to be that he's not confrontational enough, or not willing to is willing to sit down with others too much. Is that something that's going to be a punishable offense in Wyoming Republican politics these days?
Well, you know, the election isn't going to be for another 13 months, and this is all going to come down to a decision by about 100,000 primary election voters next August. So that's a long way out.
Well, it'll be, I imagine, a high turnout. I want to move to the action that happened yesterday.
Chuck, that is a high turnout election.
I know, that's what I mean. I say that I was not being facetious. I know that would be a big turnout for a Wyoming primary. But I want to move to the averted showdown between the two parties having to do with these confirmations. Are you satisfied with the agreement?
Well, you know, I was part of that group of 8 that worked with Chuck Schumer last year to make sure that we didn't just break the rules to change the rules. I think it's important to live within the rules of the Senate. Whichever party's in the majority, you know, over the years has wanted to press their advantage. So people on both sides of the aisle have argued both positions over the years. I think it's an important thing that we've gone beyond this and will continue with the current rules of the Senate.
What's wrong? You know, you talk to sort of folks that don't follow this day to day, and they sit there and say, well, geez, if the president wants somebody on his team and it's not a lifetime appointment, you know, shouldn't that be separated out from this sort of filibuster way of doing things? What do you say to that?
Well, a couple of things. And, you know, it came up one morning, Joe, when Robert Gibbs said, can they get confirmed as Secretary of Homeland Security? The bigger problem is there are 15 vacancies now in the Department of Homeland Security, top jobs where the administration hasn't even put forth names. Secretary of Kerry at the State Department, there are 11 major jobs that are still open where names haven't even come forward. So I think that the problem is positions in government, high positions, haven't been filled, not because they're being blocked by one party or the other in the Senate. It's that names haven't even come forth yet from the White House.
But you don't think that it has anything to do with that it's harder and harder to find people willing to take those jobs, go through a vetting process? I mean, look at a judicial nomination. You get nominated to be a judge. If you're confirmed in less than a year, that's an amazing stat these days. And a lot of people don't want to put themselves through that.
Well, people get to decide what they want to go through. The judicial nominees, what we know now is, of course, it's a lifetime appointment, but President Obama has had his judicial nominees come through faster than President Bush did or than President Clinton did. We've seen that with cabinet nominees. The Congressional Research Service has looked into this, so it doesn't seem that it has gotten any worse over the years. It was actually President Bush's judges that were blocked, and why that whole gang of 14 came together in the past to try to resolve that issue. So I think there are just so many vacancies that for which we haven't even had names come to the Senate. It's not the Senate that's slowing it down.
I want to ask you 2 other issues. This morning, the New York Times reports that the healthcare exchanges in New York are going to bring down the cost of individual health insurance, the rates by 50%, 50. Do you look at that at all and say, well, maybe implementing health care in these states is going to be a good thing for some people in a lot of places, particularly a large state like New York. We saw the same thing in California and the same thing in Oregon.
Well, for young people, the rates are going to go up. Young people that are going to be paying more than they had in the past, because that's how this whole program is predicated. People still find the health care law offensive and are opposed to this individual mandate that everybody has to buy insurance. People are concerned about cost first, and they just have to see how it affects them, because the president made a lot of promises that if you have what you like, you can keep it, and that costs would drop, he said, by $2,500 per family by the end of his first term. That hasn't happened so far, Chuck, and there's even a question of if the exchanges are going to work, because Senator Barrasso, as you know, called it an upcoming train wreck.
Well, I guess my question to you is, if you see evidence that they're working in places like New York, California, Oregon, where there's, frankly, Democratic Party rule, so they're more inclined to want to be helpful to the Obama administration, at one point does that tell you, you know what, if we work within this system, maybe there is a way to make this work for everybody?
Well, we're going to have to see what the actual cost impact is for individuals. But right now, we know the president has delayed the one of the mandates that has to do with the employers providing insurance, because they know it wasn't working. It's hurting jobs. We have more and more people working part-time because of this. And now you've had the unions come out, including the Teamsters, opposing the president and the health care law in a letter that they wrote to Nancy Pelosi and to Senator Reid. So I think things are not as rosy as you may paint them to be.
And Senator, finally, on the sexual assault bill, Senator Gillibrand's bill, this has got some bipartisan opposition, bipartisan support. So I simply want to ask, where are you on this? Do you think you want to go in the direction Senator Gillibrand wants to go, take this out of the chain of command when it comes to dealing with these sexual assault cases in the military, or not?
Every member of the United States Senate, both parties, very concerned about this. We've got to get this right. I was in the Middle East over the 4th of July weekend in the Persian Gulf, visiting with Wyoming National Guard troops. This is an issue that has come up with the commanders and with the men and women in the field. We have to get this right. I've been visiting with Senator Gillibrand about it. I want to get it right, and we're going to continue to work for a solution.
So it sounds like you're undecided right now on the bill. Is that fair to say?
Well, I haven't signed on as one of the co-sponsors. We are all committed in a bipartisan way to get this right, to make sure this sort of activity does not happen in our military.
All right, Senator John Barrasso, Republican from Wyoming, who now you get to play political pundit if you want. We'll have you on to talk about that primary anytime you want, Senator.
Thanks, Chuck.
All right, Senator, thanks very much.